Hey, everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Joey Evans.
And I'm Chris Yee.
I'm not used to being on this side, by the way. That threw me off.
Yeah, also you wore the wrong color shirt.
Yes, I did.
Red Day. All right, today we're taking a look at a game called Moon Colony Bloodbath. Now, this is a couple things I want to mention about this. First of all, it's done with like a 50s vibe. And like, hey, we're building a nice colony on the moon. And then the robots rise and tensions rise and everyone starts killing each other.
As they do. Mm-hmm.
The game is designed by Donald X. Vaccarino, who's best known for Dominion and to a lesser extent Kingdom Builder.
Okay.
And he's made many, many other smaller games, but none of them have reached the heights of those juggernauts.
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
This one is an engine building game of sorts where you try to keep your people alive as long as possible. Let me show you. Each person is going to get their own board, which has the name of your doctor. You're going to get resources, starting with resources. You start with 30 people. You start with 4 cards off of a building deck. Each card has a cost and a number of people that it holds and some special abilities. You'll start with some money. You'll start with some food. And you also start with these 4 tokens. The game is going to be running through a deck of cards. This deck is made up of 4 work cards, 2 trouble cards, and then 2 cards from a twist deck. And you'll throw these cards in. Everyone can kind of see what the twist cards are. And you're going to shuffle the cards. You'll run through this deck 1 card at a time. And once you run through the deck, you'll run through it again and again and again. Now, many of the cards, or 4 of the cards, are work cards. When you get one of these, you'll take your marker and pick one of these things here. You can mine, which will give you 4 money. You can farm, which will give you 4 food. You can research, which will let you draw 2 cards. You can restock, which gives you cubes that you can place on buildings that you have built already. And some buildings do things when you have these crates on them. And then you can play a building card. When you play a building card, you will pay the amount of money here. And sometimes if it has play, you will do something. This one here says add budget costs. So I'm going to look through a pile of developments, and this budget cost card will be added to our deck that we're going through. Whenever a card is added to the deck, you put it on top. These markers here, you can do the same action every time. It's just so that you know every time you go through the deck that all 4 work cards have been played. Now, as you go through this, you're going to build these. Some of the buildings that you build are going to make different actions better. For example, when you farm, this one gives you an extra food. This one, when you mine, you get an extra money for each of the crates that's on top of this. This one, when you restock, you also get 2 money and you can move a crate. So there's things like that. And some of them, if you lose the building, you also get a benefit from that, or sometimes a negative thing. Now, those aren't the only cards in the deck. You're going to have these trouble cards. When they come, you will add the next event. There's a lot of events in this deck. The first one makes you pay food. This is the whole reason you have food. Pay 1 for each building. If you don't, you lose people equal to the food you can't pay. But if you pay it all, you get 2. After that, the next one, when this goes into the deck, every time it's drawn, you draw a card, lose 2 cards. This one adds a robot every time it's drawn. There's a pile of robot cards, and robot cards just start making you lose people at a huge rate. And then each event after that, they start making you lose more and more people. If you get to the final event, which I've never done, but if you do, this will end the game and whoever has the most people wins. You're going to start losing people from all sorts of cards. There's ways to counter that. Sometimes a card will give you a perk. When you have a perk, you will find cards that match you, and you pick one of these, and you put it on the deck. When this shows up, you get the bonus, but only you get that bonus. Otherwise, you're going to keep going. You're going to run out of people eventually because robots and other things are going to kill them. So when that happens and you've run out of people, you can destroy a building to get the number of people that it shows up there. And that's the only time you can destroy a building. You'll destroy the building, get those people, pay your debts of people, and then you keep going. But if you're out of buildings and out of people, you're eliminated from the game. And then whoever has the most people at that point is the winner. Right off the bat, as always, with most Rio Grande games, I'm taking 1 point off my score because the components are terrible. I actually don't hate the 50s vibe of this. I like that kind of kitschy.
No, you say the components are terrible, but the artwork is. I like the pulp sci-fi artwork.
The artwork is fine.
I wish the artwork presented that kitschy look a little bit more. I think it's a graphic design shortfalling, right? The components are okay, actually, right? Like to go
They're
through and
okay,
grab all
but when
the
you put them in a
resources.
pile there and
Yeah.
you look at them, they just look meh. I look
Yeah.
at the different robots, and I don't know. It just has a look again of a game from the 90s. Because it is.
That's the problem. It doesn't look like the 50s. It looks like the 90s. And yes, we know what we're expecting. We opened up a box that says Rio Grande on the side.
Sure, but that's all I'm going to say about that. The game itself.
Forrest Gump in that. That's all
I stopped before I did it. Anyway, the game itself is an interesting game because you are running through this deck of cards over and over, and the deck gets fatter and fatter. And what the game does is it has this kind of curve. At the beginning of the game, you're like, ooh, I'll collect this, I'll collect food, I'm building up buildings, and this is fun, and ooh, this building does this. And you get better and better and better, and suddenly, and it's around like the third, fourth time through the deck, everything starts dying.
It is not a curve. It is a cliff. Because it is, and that's the. I've played games with curves. This is like a, whew, that escalated quickly. You know, it's just, yeah, it's rough.
I have gotten better.
Yes, yes.
The last game I played, it was a curve for sure because I learned to hedge my
Right.
bets. I'm preparing. I know everything's going to go crazy and you know, out of town in a handbasket, and I am like preparing for that. I
Right.
knew it was coming. The very first game I played of this, it ended where everyone lost all their people at the same time, and I could not. Maybe it's in the rule book, but I looked. I could not find what the rules were for that, and it doesn't seem like that's something that will happen infrequently.
Yes, yeah, this is one of those games where a tiebreaker seems somewhat necessary. Right? We had another game of it where someone went out, two people had the same remaining number of humans left, and so you could maybe understand, like, oh, it's a function that's probably a tie, but you should explain that. It should be explicit in the rule book, same number of survivors, or if everybody goes out, it's a tie, everyone loses, this number of people win or whatever. It certainly shouldn't be play another round because you will for sure all die then.
Oh, 100%. And one thing to that note is it's incredible how close the games are because they really balance this to where it's pretty balanced at the end. It's like everyone's about to die, you know? And it's
Yeah.
and it's one of those things. These treading water games I used to really dislike, right? But I've started liking more like Empire's End. I do like Empire's End. It's another treading water disaster thing, but Empire's End, I think, Chris, you mentioned this, has kind of good moments that you're like, I did something good. This one, the good cards are barely good, and the bad cards will just smack you in the face. Like,
Well, you get better you get better at the beginning. I'm telling you, the
They
first
also get
couple times through the deck, I'm like, man, this is really fun. I had such a
agree.
great time at the beginning of this game.
It's an odd one, right, where there is the first part of the game, I won't even call it half necessarily, but that first part of the game you are building up, which is neat, and then you are taking hits throughout that as well. Games like Empire's End, I think, toes the balance more if you want to feel like you are being productive.
Right.
Because even in the latter half of Empire's End, for example, disasters still destroying your landscapes and stuff, but you have power cards that you're getting. You can win an auction taking the disaster, but then you get a big pool of resources and stuff. This one, it just feels a little bit more like it's beating you down. And to the point where in the last third, right, there's maybe kind of 3 arcs to the curve. You have the building stuff, you have the, oh, it's getting kind of bad, and then the last part is, my engine is being destroyed by the game.
yes.
Staying alive, and that's all it is at the end, just staying alive. Like, can I get one building out to get some more people
That's
in the
all
game?
you care about.
Yeah, you might build one building in the time it takes for 4 of your buildings that you've already built to get destroyed just to stay alive. And I think that is the part of the arc that is a little more distasteful. I think it's going to be really specific people that will like that feeling.
Now, I have to admit, I've been thinking about the game a lot, and I wonder that there's going to be a lot of people who like this because in some instances, I like games that do this. A good comparison would be Galaxy Trucker.
In Galaxy Trucker, I spend the first half of the game building up a ship, and then I watch as it blows up. But with Galaxy Trucker, I'm laughing the whole time it goes blowing up, and I was kind of laughing a little bit in this one, but it was also ruining my engine. Galaxy Trucker is not an engine, it's a thing that slowly gets blown up. Yes, you lose like your guns and your engines, I suppose. I guess there are little engines in it. But it just feels a little bit different. But I can see people who like games like that liking this. If you know what you're getting into, I assume there's going to be a lot of people who really enjoy it. But that coupled with the bad graphic design and everything, coupled with some really weird choices, like the perk cards. Why would you ever not take that +2 people? I don't need money that often. I mean, money maybe because you can build more buildings, but there's just some stuff I hate in the game, like the draw 1 card, discard 2.
Oh.
And that's the second event that comes in the deck, and it's just not fun. I draw 1 card, discard 2? What? That's like the opposite of every other game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where you draw 2 and discard 1. And so you're then forced to take actions to draw cards, which keeps you from doing the other stuff. And I don't know. This is one of those games that I think people will be wildly divided on. I think there's going to be people who really like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen it played a lot.
And I think people will get a kick out of it, and maybe they'll enjoy the first part so much that the last third doesn't bother them.
I can see that. Boy, that last third, man. Yeah. I do like the fact there's a shared deck. That's interesting, where you put your good cards in there. I like that. You're all going with the same thing.
Yeah, it adds a little dynamism, excitement to it, right? It's could have just easily been, okay, it's the end of the deck, everyone activate your perks, but the fact that you're just kind of sitting there waiting, Joey gets 2 people.
Right.
There's a little,
I do wish they were a little more asymmetrical.
Oh, yeah.
A little more impactful.
The people,
I agree.
but for me, it comes down to just a personal preference, I think, on this one. I know, again, I don't know if I'll play it again or not, right? So I can't like really trash on it, but I think I got to give it a 5. It's a game that I enjoy it, but then I watch my beautiful stuff that I build, this cool engine, get destroyed with no recourse. I'm just kind of hanging on by fingernails at the end, and that just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. If I win, I'm like, I held on a little bit longer than everybody else. And again, I kind of get, sometimes I enjoy that in games maybe. I just don't in this one. So that's why I'm giving it a 5.
I'll go, I mean, I'm a bit higher, and I think the saving grace for this is the fact that it's 45 minutes. It's short. It's like, if this was a 2-hour game, nightmare. But I'm giving it a 5.5 because I see parts of this I like. I, for one, like the artwork. I like that sci-fi thing, but I also wish there were asymmetric abilities. I also wish it wasn't a cliff you fell off. And I do see how you can get better the more you play it, but are you going to play it again and again? That's the point, because it has a worse feeling when your engine just stops working that third round. You're like, I'm just going to die. So yeah, 5.5 for me.
Yeah, I'm right there as well at a 5. I think that I like a lot of aspects of this. Donald X, as a designer, it does those things where you throw in 2 wrinkle cards or whatever they're called in this game. It's very much like
cards,
the twist cards, very much like Nefarious or a lot of his other small games, like Kingdom Builder. Here's some nice twists. So each game you play is going to be different. It's going to feel different until it doesn't, because once you hit that cliff, once you fall off the cliff, it's going to feel the same no matter what, I think, right?
Lose 5 people, lose 4 people, lose 3 people. I'm like, all right, here we go.
Yeah, exactly. When you destroy a building, you can get 1 money. Oh, that's a fun twist, except for we're now just losing 20 people every time we go through the deck.
And that building is the only way this system works.
Yeah. So it's fun. I don't want this 5 to come across as like a huge dunk on the game. But for the fact I don't really feel like coming back to this one, and there's other disaster games that I would come back to. I would come back to In the Year of the Dragon, the Stefan Feld one first, because I still feel like I'm accomplishing things while the destruction's happening. And Empire's End would be the bigger recommendation for me, I think.
Well, there you go, folks. That's Moon Colony Bloodbath. Maybe you like it. Well, then let people know in the comments. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Joy Evans.
And I'm Chris Yee.
Bloodbath.
Bloodbath.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.